Hello and welcome to another edition of the Family Business with the Alessis. And as you can see, this is not one of the Alessis. My name is Alan, and I'm one of the producers that works with the podcast. You've also heard Ashley mentioned, and Johnny and John and some other people that are behind the scenes, but we don't always get a chance to be on camera, which is probably the way we like it. But as we're getting ready to kick off 2025, we thought it might be nice to enjoy some of our best of from the years past, because as we go forward, we always want to remind ourselves of the amazing content, the amazing episodes that you've heard throughout the years. And maybe this is a good episode for you to send to your friends so that they can become subscribers and followers of the Family Business in 2025. And so without further delay, let's get into the best of the Family Business.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Family Business with the Alessis. And today I am here, Steve Alessi with Christopher Alessi.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, everybody. It is actually our third season.
Wow.
Yes, I'm very, very excited about this. Listen, this is the third season. We have like almost 30 episodes in her. And what started as, hey, let's just talk family and so on and so forth, has really blossomed into some wonderful informational and touching podcasts. So it's been a real joy to do these things for people that want to connect with us. Have you been listening to all your podcasts?
I have been listening. In fact, this morning I was thinking about it when you said you wanted to do one, just thinking about how years ago, we were talking about, man, Daddy should do a podcast. Man, Daddy should do a podcast. The things we talk about at home, you got to do a podcast. And now we're on our third season. It's been crazy.
Yep. Very, very happy. And actually, the helper in getting this all put together is AP, Alan Paul.
Alan Paul.
Came on last year. And this is one of the things we wanted to do, not only have him support the music even more so, but come alongside of us and help us coordinate all of this, because he has his own Gods and Gigs podcast that he puts on.
God and Gigs.
The
only plurals on gigs.
Thank you.
Got you, Alan.
He got it covered.
God and Gigs.
Yes, little gods. Big God and Gigs.
I always say that because I said that before. I said Gods and Gigs. He goes, I'm not a pluralistic, polytheistic man. I was like, oh, gosh, you're right. Sorry.
But, he's got like 3,000 episodes. So he's done really well in all of this since he's been about 15. So he's been doing a podcast for a while, and he's come alongside of us and really helped us do it. So
yeah.
This has been fun. It's been great being able to sit across the table. I think this may be, we think people are like, wow, I'm getting help from this. Let me tell you, this is helping our family.
I think it is. We're having some dialogue. I've actually heard my dad make comments at things on the podcast that he's never told me before. So it was great. I remember when a couple of episodes ago, it was definitely season 2. It was with you and Mom, and you made a statement about, now that your kids are married, the way you deal with being angry at them.
Stop.
Me and Stephanie found that very interesting.
Yes, I have to get mad at you to let you leave the nest. Hey, it's just a process.
It's okay, but it's just the way that it came out was through a podcast and never telling.
That's right. And there's been a lot of things that have come out during these podcasts. And if you have not been able to listen to all of them, download them all, then here's your opportunity. Start the year off by going back and checking out those podcasts, because we had the intro, which was important. We kind of gave you an idea who we were as a family in season 1 in those first couple of episodes. And then just stuff about family, how to work together, how to deal with things, challenges, also just making holidays fun, and just all of those issues.
Santa's a vegan, all that kind of stuff.
Yes, all of it. So we hope you have enjoyed this podcast with the Alessis. And today we want to go forward, because in this third season, episode number 1, this is happening at the beginning of 2022. So we're in a brand new year.
Yeah, it's got to feel good.
It feels great. Let's get we're looking forward to go forward.
Yep.
But when the new year comes around, people are already thinking about what I'm going to do different this year. We call them New Year's resolutions, something that we're going to do this year that maybe we haven't done before, or we've tried in the past, but we haven't succeeded. And so we want to amp it up again at the beginning of this year. And I think that's cool that we can do that. I like the fact that every week or every Monday is a new opportunity to try something new. Every month is a new opportunity at the beginning to try something new. And now, of course, every year, this is the big reset that you want to do in your mind. You want to do it in maybe relationships. You want to do it in your finances. You want to do it and your faith, and you want to do it with your health. So there's some New Year's resolutions that we'll talk about today, and I hope that we can get our eyes on it. By the way, let me promote what's going to happen next week. The next 2 podcasts after this one, I'm talking about are powerful. You don't want to miss those podcasts. Tears were all over this place.
I remember that.
Wow.
You and Mom.
It's going to be a good one. So next week and the week following. But Chris, let's, a couple of things I think are important. We are in the business of faith.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say to somebody about, I want to start off my New Year's resolution by building my faith more? What do you think would be a good way to do that?
Well, I will say this. As far as building your faith and New Year's resolutions and stuff, make a commitment to read the entire Bible this year.
Yeah.
I know that's pretty crazy, but even as somebody raised in church, I never did it until about 4 years ago, or maybe 3 years ago, when Stephanie challenged me. She said, "Hey, I'm going to read it in like 30 days." And I said, You're crazy, but I think I read it in a full year. Just took my time left to right. My whole relationship with God is different from that day. I mean, there's just everything about it is different. And I would definitely say now, looking back and recognizing that I do have that in me, that I can get through something like that.
Right.
I didn't think I could be that committed to something at the beginning. So I would definitely say making a commitment to read the Old Testament or the New Testament, or the whole thing if you can.
Yeah.
Just get some wins under your belt there, and you'll find out the Bible's really not all that scary.
Yeah, I like that because for people that cannot read it in 30 days' time,
I can't.
Yeah, there's reading plans out there. I'm looking at what I have with Olive Tree, the different reading plans they make available. You can, on your phone, you can read them start to finish, beginning to end, starting in Genesis and going all the way through. I did one last year that was, it took me up to November. I liked it, and I'm trying to find out what it was as
while
I'm
you're
looking through it. Go ahead.
One of the things that I loved about reading the Bible in a year, I had to give myself permission to not catch everything. And I feel like that's one of the biggest things that keeps people from reading their Bible. They feel like they have to catch everything every time they read it.
Yeah.
They have to get the world's best message, or, they have to fully understand what they're reading. And that gets really hard to do once you really get past Exodus. I mean, trying to just catch everything or the purpose of it, giving myself permission to just, hey, literally just get the words in, just read them. And if you get nothing out of it, it's okay. Because what I got over the year, what I would get over a month's time, or what I would get when I'd get into the New Testament and I had just kind of had all that Old Testament there. I mean, I'll tell you this, it's quite funny. Stephanie and I even talk about it because you almost start to hear like songs when you start to read the different chapters and you're going through it. It's like the Old Testament had a like a theme song to it. And then you get to the Gospels and they have a different, and then you get to Paul and it sounds so different. And it was so much fun. It was so much fun. So give yourself permission, if you're going to take this on, give yourself permission to not catch everything. Just do it. Just read it.
Get it in. And the Lord's good about taking some things that you've read and bringing it to your memory, remembrance as you need it. I did one. It was F260, which is Foundations 260. 260 days of reading. It's 5 days a week, leaves you the weekends free. It jumps around. It'll do... It'll give you the highlights. So it takes you through at 260 days, leaving you with about 100 extra days of the weekends and such where you're not reading. So what it did for me was I didn't feel, and this is coming from a pastor, I didn't feel the pressure that if I didn't get to it on Monday, I was a failure. I'm getting far behind. It helped me. No, Tuesday, if I didn't get it Monday, I'm good Tuesday because I have extra days in the year that
they give
I
you
would
100
be
to play
able,
with.
yeah, 100 to play with. So that was really good because it did, it's called the Bible reading plan for busy believers. So if I'm in the country, I don't need this. But if I'm in the city, I am needing something that's going to help me. 260 day reading plan. There's more out there that would be great for people. They can even try certain ones in the book of Proverbs, or they can go to the Psalms and they can just read that for a month. There's different plans that are available. What I liked about the ones on our phone is that it does track our success, our progress. And we can see, well, if I'm slow, behind, and so on, how I can catch up.
And it celebrates you. You got 100 days in, you get 30 days in.
Yeah.
I probably should have done that in reverse order. 30 days in or 100 days in, you get that nice little celebration for that.
Yeah. So building your faith starts with some kind of reading of the scripture. So that's a great way to kickstart 2022. How about being in church?
I would also say, a lot of people, because of COVID, decided to consume church differently.
Mm-hmm.
Some used to go, now they watch online. Some used to watch online, now they don't at all. I would say, let's rev that bad boy back up. Mm-hmm. Let's remember the value of all of it. If you've been watching online for a while, come back.
Yeah.
Go to church. Whatever church you're a part of, get back to church. Be there in person.
Yeah.
You know what? I think Chick-fil-A is one of the greatest institutions on the planet, but Rochelle and I were reminded when they opened back up inside, the food is better there than it is taken at home.
Yeah.
And that the same goes for church. Church online's amazing, but it's not like being there in person. Yeah. And maybe you've been coming for years, but you sat in the back. Maybe you should try moving up to the second or third row. Yeah. Maybe you should try talking to somebody. Maybe your resolution this year is just to serve, to be on a team, to be a part, to join a connect group. I mean, these are all things that looking into 2020 from 2023 or 2022 from 2023, you'll feel good about, look what I accomplished in 2022. I went back to church, or I started serving, or something like that.
Yeah. Two things I hear from people that walk through the doors of our place. One is, man, I've never been to church before, which I think is crazy. How that happens, but it's crazy, but it's good to hear that. And the other that I hear from people that I haven't seen is, oh man, it's so good to be back. So if you haven't been the kind of church goer to build your faith, church is a great way to start building that faith. And if you are a faith-filled believer and you haven't been around, then come on back. That's going to build your faith life. It's going to help you in that area. And it's a great way to kickstart. And we do something every year where we do the whole reset, burning the old, saying goodbye to what hurt and all those things, disappointments, and even some successes in the past of 2021, and then focusing on 2022, what we can do to go forward. And this year's theme, by the way, for that is burn the ships when we come together on that day.
It's going to be burn, baby, burn, but I like burn the ships, baby.
Yeah, burn the ships.
I'd also just add to that, a lot of people at this point, if they haven't come back to church, there's this fear of embarrassment because now I'm going to show up and you're going to look me face to face and say, I have not been here in a while. And I think everyone needs to give themselves permission. Every church needs to say, hey, if you're coming back, all right, it was a crazy couple of years. No embarrassment. We're glad you're back. Yes. At least I can speak for Metro. It doesn't matter who you are or how long you've been gone. When you show up, I will tell you, you will be met with, we're so glad you're back.
Yeah, that's good to hear. So that's what I'm doing to help build my faith.
Yeah.
Okay, that's important. Reset. What about your relational? What can we do relationally, family-wise, when you're thinking about this is my New Year's resolution? What am I doing? What am I thinking here? I want to spend more time with my spouse. I want to find a spouse. I want to spend time with the kids. I want to make it up to, what am I doing there if I want to start the new year with some New Year's resolution with my family?
I'd say go on Amazon and search in Amazon for a phone basket and make that the first purchase of the new year. And when you're with somebody you want to be with, whether that is on a date or that is with your parents or that is with your siblings, put that phone in that phone basket If people are like, I take notes on my phone, well, then stop taking notes on your phone. Like, get a notebook.
Yeah.
Make that the second Amazon purchase. I use an alarm clock, not my phone. Why? Because I don't want the very first thing that I do when I wake up is to grab my phone. I want it to be, waking Rochelle up or being with her or something like that. So I would definitely say making a commitment, spend money on it so you are invested, but getting off your phone and being active in the moment. And because of a conversation I had recently, let's say you're a guy on this podcast and you are single and you are looking to mingle. I will tell you, do whatever you can. Maybe there's a podcast about it. Maybe it's a future podcast or whatever. But go and tell the girl that you are pursuing what you want to do. Don't go and ask her, hey, what do you think? Go up to her with a man, as a man with a plan. This is what I want to do. And if you don't want to, that's fine. But this is what I want to do. Because I've heard way too many guys lately say that they asked a girl out. And when they tell me what they actually did, I said, my friend, you did not ask her out. What you did was ask her to ask you out. And that is not real. So
come on, every guy sits there wishing the girl will make the move.
Oh my God, yeah.
Every young kid at the dance wants her to invite him to go to the dance floor. And no, Chris, that's so good. All those
should be a future podcast.
Flying solo, you need to engage. You need to go forward. That plane doesn't go forward until you hit the throttle. That car doesn't. You can't. You got to start it. Man, that right there is a great New Year's resolution. If you've been passive, you're afraid to get hurt, afraid to get rejected, welcome to the real world.
Welcome to the club.
You have to get rejected a little bit. You're not perfect, either is she, but you better initiate it. The longer you are single, the longer you are single.
Oh my gosh.
The easier it is to remain single.
Does the audience know what you told me years ago?
Tell them.
Right before I actually started dating Rochelle, my father walked up to me and said, Dad, Chris, go on a date. You're starting to get weird. I'll never forget it. It was so true. And now what's crazy is I look at some of my friends who are single and I'm like, go on a date, man. You're getting weird.
And listen, weird's not spiritual.
No, it's not.
Weird is just weird.
It's just weird.
And people don't like weird.
No.
Weird will attract weird.
Yeah.
So stop being weird.
Dating it really is a skill that can only be developed. And you're not, especially in our world today with what phones have done, you are never going to be good at talking to a girl, talking to a guy one-on-one, across the table. You're never going to know how to talk to the opposite sex unless you talk to the opposite sex.
Yeah.
I had to make a list of things to tell Rochelle on our next date for the first 2 or 3 dates because we needed to get into the rhythm of what it was like to talk to each other. And now we don't need lists. Trust me. Now we just talk way too much. But it started somewhere. So all of that, it's great stuff. Just go on a date. Make a list if you have to.
And don't have a pickup line, please. Just be you. Goofy and everything. Just be you. Yeah. If you're a good talker, great. If you're not, then hey, just push past it. You don't need a pickup line.
No.
Just go, hey, man, I want to meet you. I'd like to get to know you. Are you interested in that? And be ready for yes and be ready for no.
If she says no, then you walk away confident and let her realize she made a mistake.
You'll show it in the future. Or she's just not the right one.
Yeah, or God saved you.
Because it's sad to belong to someone else when the right one comes along. That's true. But that should be a focus of somebody who is single. They should put it on their New Year's resolution. I don't want to be single all this time. That's it. It's
now,
time
if you're 21, 22, we're not talking to you.
Yeah.
Enjoy your life.
Yeah. We're talking to what?
If you're 27, 28, and you're still single, and I don't just mean single like unmarried. I mean like you're not really in the thick of it. You need to start realizing, there's a mindset here holding you back. Yeah. You got to figure out what that mindset is. Especially in our church, we got so many great stinking people in this church.
This is where I'm going with my comments. Your sister said to the church a while back after she met Moina that she actually started sowing a certain amount of money every month. I think it was $10 extra every month in her giving that she wanted to target a relationship, meeting somebody this year. And so the other day we're at an event And one of the other young adults, professional, comes up to me and says, I started doing what Stephanie said to do.
Wow.
And she's targeting that extra towards
a spouse.
A spouse. Actually, it was kind of funny because she was spouse being a covering. Well, it just so happened her roof blew up and she ended up needing money to get her roof fixed. And the insurance finally came through at the end of this year. So she got a covering, just not necessarily the kind of covering she wanted.
Wow.
But I liked her step of faith. I'm going to be intentional to go and move forward. So that would be something. People that are single be thinking, how can I move this forward? But I'll say this, as a father, a lot of my New Year's resolutions as a man was about either me personally being better, me being better financially, me being better with my faith. But it didn't always include how I can be a better husband or a better father. So I would say that's a great resolution to make at the beginning of the year. Make it about your family. What can you do different? Can you eat home more? Can you have dinners? Can you say to the family, this is what we're going to start to do? A dear friend of ours. Yeah, well, good friend of ours. Sunday night is their family night, and he's thankful that his family's in the church, but they have had, they don't like Sunday night activities because they want the family to be together. I think that's great.
Brilliant.
Have a family night, whatever that looks like, and just may get a little pushback at the beginning. Some of the family members may not be able to show up because their responsibilities haven't covered, but then you stay at it. Don't change it. Have something that's going to help your family connect better in the coming year.
Yeah.
Which then brings me to another F. We got faith. We got family. You look dapper. You look thin. You're wearing black not because you need to, but because it's cool. How about our fitness?
Yeah.
What should we be thinking in terms of fitness?
Well, I started thinking about this earlier. The last 2 years has defined health as survival.
Wow.
That's
true.
how we've defined health. And that's not bad for a while. And fight or flight, both are in hopes of surviving. And we've been in fight or flight for a while now. Just, if someone's going crazy being chased by a bear, we really don't judge their behavior because it's like, yeah, you're in fight or flight. But if you behave that way in the office when you're not being chased, when that fight or flight is gone, something's wrong with you. You've got to let that go at some point and start to put things back into order. And so the truth is we shouldn't be in fight or flight anymore. We need to come out of that and really start working on ourselves. And we cannot define our health based off survival. There needs to be a proactive portion to this. And so getting your health in order, not only do we see that it's not a depreciating value, it's the exact opposite. It's like compound interest, because who would have thought that if I was pretty healthy on the inside, more often than not, I was going to be okay when this pandemic hit? No one would have thought of that the day before the country shut down. So we find that taking care of our temple, it protects us in ways that we don't even consider. There's a compound interest to it where when things do go crazy, man, I've taken care of myself. It's not too late to start taking care of myself now. So, we've been health coaches for a while, and I just decided a couple of weeks ago, I've really got to step this thing up a notch for myself. We've got, a future where kids will be involved at some point. I don't want to be tired. They deserve my best self, not Chris trying to survive.
Right.
They deserve Chris thriving, a dad who's thriving. And we watched you do that. We watched so many members of our church do that. And I was like, it's time for me to.
Yeah.
So I would say that.
Pre-existing conditions, that there shouldn't be such. And a lot of it can be avoided if we watch how we're focusing on our fitness. Doesn't mean you got to go and do the whole big gym thing. No. I used to do that when I was younger, and all it did was, as I got older, started to hurt my knees, started to hurt my shoulders. I didn't have to do that regularly. But I've always struggled with my weight. Always could put on 10 pounds during the holidays and 15 pounds if I'm not careful. That then turns to 20 pounds. I have to stay aware of it. Yeah. So part of my New Year's resolution is always, all right, get through the holiday. I'm going to hit it with my program. And you and I have a great program. There's a lot of programs out there. We've got some great people that are sitting in our churches that train and help people in that area. You've got intermittent fasting, which is one of the big things today. You've got a lot of keto that people's done in the past. We have our particular program that we use. All of those things should be part of the New Year's resolution. But I would say this: you can't do this in the closet. You can't do it in the dark because you won't succeed. The old habits are going to come upon you and take you out. You need somebody to coach you along, somebody that could, in a nice way, motivate you to be accountable to your commitment to be healthy. Not just motivate you to be on a program, but motivate you to be committed to yourself, your own health.
Yeah.
I'm on meds. I hate the fact that I'm on meds. I noticed this, that I don't have to be as committed to my meds as long as I am eating better. Only time that I find myself real committed to my meds or aware of the meds that I'm taking so much is when I'm not being more disciplined with what goes into my mouth.
Yeah.
So people enjoy the holidays, great. Coming out of it, though, there has to be this commitment. Our frames are not meant to carry the kind of weight that people and even young people are carrying in society today.
It's awful.
And I know, listen, my upbringing was pastas, good old red sauce and pizzas. That was my upbringing. I loved bread like you. We weren't a family. We love carbs. We weren't a family that was raised on greens, and salads and all. But we've had to make adjustments along the way. Yes, pastelitos are great, but they don't help us in the long run with the sugars that are in our body. Doing a little more, study of what happens when you eat certain foods would be very helpful for you. You shouldn't be condemned that maybe you have your body and your health has got to a certain place. Don't be condemned over it. But 2022 could be a year that allows you to change what you are feeling and experiencing in your health.
Yeah.
Your health really is, in the long run, all you have at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You can have a ton of money, Chris, okay? You can have houses, you can have boats, you can have vacations, but if your health isn't there, all those things are going to be affected.
Yeah.
When I go hunting, when we started the whole deal, I was thinking 5 years, 10 years down the road, what will my knees be like down the road when it comes to me walking in the woods or pulling a deer out or carrying something?
That's so true.
If I don't have the health, then all my dreams and my bucket list, all those things that
out the window,
I'm not going to be able to see those things realized, all because I can't control what I'm eating. So I would say to our friends listening, your faith is priority. That's between you and God. Your family is priority. That's between you and them. And you're not going to be happy in life if that family isn't strong. Your faith, your fitness is between you.
Yeah.
It's all on you. You don't do it because you want to just look good. You do it because you want to be healthy. You want to feel good.
Be good.
If you got to talk to a doctor to help you in whatever way that is, go do it. If you want a health coach, contact you. Talk to Pastor Chris. If you want a surgeon, we can help you there, because some people, listen, my heart goes out to them. It's going to take a while to get themselves healthier, and it may require a little assistance medically to help them do that. But I think those 3 F's right there, if we can get those 3, you're going to find yourself in 2022 having a goal and a vision, which is important. Without it, people cast off restraints.
Yep.
Need a vision. Those are good visions to have for 2022. And then if you're focused on those things, you're going to see some other opportunities come your way. And those are going to just complement the commitment that you're making to yourself.
Absolutely. And I'll go back just this last edition. Dave Ramsey says when you're starting a budget, it'll never be perfect. It's really like 70%, but at least 70% of it's good. And the rest over 3 to 6 months gets better and better. And you eventually get a really solid budget. It's the same in all three of these areas. You're not going to get these things perfect on the first try. You're not going to get full attendance at family night on the first try because you're all asking them to do something new.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to do the whole Bible thing perfectly the first time, and you're not going to be able to just get healthy overnight.
Yeah.
But do it. Get that arrow trending upward, man. Get moving in that positive direction, and snowball effect will take care of itself.
Get 1% better every week.
day.
No, every week. Give you every day. That's hard. Give it 1 week. 1% better every week. How many? That's going to be over 50% better. Your life will be 50% better in the coming year because you were committed every week to getting 1% better. So, hey, that's what today's podcast would be about, us thinking about some of those New Year's resolutions that are so important to us. It's got to be our faith, it's got to be our family, and it's got to be our fitness. And I want to remind you again, the next couple of episodes, it's going to deal with something relationally that we think is going to be a tremendous encouragement for you in the coming year. Relationships to us is everything. Your life will rise and fall on your relationships.
Yep.
And you're going to be hearing something about it with Mary and myself next time you join us for The Family Business with the Alessis. Thanks for joining us today.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this video, and click on the notifications bell so you can be notified for all of our future videos. And if you loved today's topic, we have plenty more. And you can click on this link right here to watch all of our videos so you can learn why family is everybody's business.